Hey, what's going on, everybody? Just wanted to make a quick video today. I'm actually on vacation, but I've been getting a ton of messages recently from active students in our platform at higherlevels.com and also seeing posts on Reddit about people that are like, hey, are there even enough tech sales jobs anymore? I feel like I missed the opportunity. I missed my chance to break in. The bubble's gone and all of these different things. I just want to make a quick video with a few different points to really set realistic expectations. Not even tell you blindly that everything's perfect and nothing's changed. There's been a lot that's changed, but the fundamentals of the videos we've made on this channel, the fundamentals of what we've told students to do has consistently worked. There are tons of great companies still hiring. I literally spoke to someone on Friday that got a 96K OTE or full salary offer with base and commission. The only reason they didn't accept it is because they're waiting to potentially get another offer from a competitor on Monday, and they expect that to be even higher. I literally just spoke to someone an hour ago that just got an interview at HubSpot. These are people that work hard, but they are not people with exceptional Harvard degree backgrounds. The opportunities are absolutely still there. And I want to address the first major thing that I see from a lot of these people sending me messages, which is like this bubble. Sure, it has burst a little bit in terms of not every company in the world is hiring SDRs. The best companies in the world absolutely are, but more often than not, when I ask people messaging me a question or two, it's clear that they were caught up in like a year and a half ago when you had all of these fake influencers popping up online saying, I made 300K in my first year of tech sales. It's so easy. It took me 2 weeks. All of these different things. And it's absolutely possible. But yeah, the euphoric state of the market where people with no experience could break in whatsoever, like within a couple of weeks, sure, that's gone. But those people honestly were breaking into low tier companies anyway. And that bubble, those people that were bragging about how much money they were making and how they broke into sales and they're only working 20 hours a week, most of them don't even work in tech sales as SDRs anymore at all. So that bubble never even existed, but I digress. Let's move on to the next point. And I think what's even more important at a personal psychological level, and sorry, I think they literally just shot a firework off in the background here, so there may be some noise going on. But I think the biggest thing that stands out to me, and I see this all the time, and it's hard for me to find the line, honestly, making these videos, because some people genuinely need good encouragement, but some people just need to be told like the blunt truth of like, you're lazy and or making excuses. And I don't know which camp you fall into, but I will tell you, when I broke into tech sales in 2020, at the time, the market was great. 2 months into my first job, COVID happened, and they almost laid off 25% of our sales team. I barely made it through that period. And then obviously in 2021 and 22, the market went absolutely crazy. Throughout that entire time, when I first broke in, I still thought I was taking a major risk. It's obviously worked out well, and I'm fortunate to be in my position. But I had peers who were, engineers that I worked with in the past, or friends of mine from school or whatever it might be, that saw me really enjoying tech sales. And I would have dinner with them. I would go out to the bar with them, and they would say, that sounds awesome. I've thought about doing sales a long time, and I just need a couple of months. I'm gonna brush up my resume, and I'll actually start applying. And here we are 4.5 years later, those same exact people who have been in the market for a sales job for over 4 years during the craziest market times and also the worst market times have never even submitted their application. So if you're in that camp, like, let's stop using the economy as an excuse. What happens from 6 months from now when your cousin who works in tech says the market's back? When you go on CNBC and you see them make an announcement that the economy is the strongest it's been in 5 years, are you actually really gonna feel that different about applying and breaking into tech sales? Or are you gonna uncover that at a psychological level, you're actually worried about breaking into tech sales because you've never had to carry a quota before? And that's actually the concern as opposed to the broader economy. And I only say that not to like guilt you or shame you into feeling like you have to apply into tech sales, but that excuse and those reasons are always going to be there. You're never going to feel like breaking into tech sales is the right time, and you just have to ultimately do it if you truly want to do it. And I will tell you, again, going back to my earlier point, still seeing tons of students landing at some of the best companies in the world. Over the last month, I'm just gonna drop a few: Twilio, Ramp, HubSpot, Salesforce, ServiceNow, some of the greatest companies in the world. Literally look up their stock prices. Like, the highest valuation companies in the world right now are still massively hiring. And not to mention, we actually have a student who got hired about 6 months ago at one of the biggest public IPOs of the last 5 years. So that person has done very well for themselves. They didn't feel like it was the right time. All of a sudden, they're an SDR, they're performing very well. They're at a company that just went public, and all of the stock options that they got, if they stay there for the 4-year vesting period, are going to be a substantial increase in financial compensation. They didn't know it was the right time. They didn't feel 100% certain at the time that it was going to be the best path for them, and it's ultimately worked out. So look, the last thing I'd say, and this has been consistent with my channel from day one, I don't really, I'm not here to tell you to do this or do that. I honestly started this channel because I just felt like a lot of the advice out there was a lot of noise. A lot of the advice was just lacking perspective or honestly just fantasizing or making sales look like something it wasn't. But yes, if you're applying to tech sales jobs right now, there are absolutely more people applying. This job and this career path has gotten extremely popular over the last couple of years. But with the massive influx of people applying, 90+% of them aren't even serious. They're not even all that serious. And I say this because I've literally run HigherLevels.com now for over 2 years. We have been teaching the same exact strategies as to how to break in. And it's a framework. It's not follow this script. It's showing you how to pick apart and actually attack the job interview process correctly. But everyone who is doing that, everyone who is not hitting easy apply, everyone who's going out of their way to actually message the hiring manager, to actually stand out from the very beginning of the interview process, these people consistently are landing interviews. We literally had someone, unfortunately didn't get past the first round of Google, but we had someone with no sales experience, went out of their way to really stand out in the application process, not just by applying, again, solid background, nothing crazy, but they messaged the hiring manager. They went out of their way to network within the organization with other SDRs, with other relevant titles within the company and personas. And those people, 9 times out of 10, sure, they're still going to face rejection, but those people consistently are still getting jobs. For those people that are actually putting in the work, nothing has changed. And honestly, if anything, because of how many great companies have gotten through all of their layoffs or hiring freezes and are now ramping hiring back up, for everyone who's been putting in the work for the last 3 to 6 months, those are the people that are actually in a great position right now to get the jobs that become available, as opposed to the person that may be watching this that has hesitated for 2 years, that thinks maybe, okay, I saw this video and I'm gonna apply tomorrow. Well, you haven't dealt with the work required to get yourself in a position over the last couple of months anyway, and the people that have are going to be the ones that are getting interviews, that are getting the job offers. So that's not to be discouraging, but I just wanna say that, like, again, if you're in this situation, there is never going to be a good time to do this. I could hit you with all the data about how hiring has turned around right now. I could hit you with all of the case studies of people in our platform at HigherLevels.com that have landed at Fortune 500 companies. I could do all of these different things, and at the end of the day, the doubt, understandably, is just coming most likely from yourself. Not knowing what it's like to be in a sales position, worrying about the possibility of failure. And again, those things are real, and it's totally normal to feel that way. But the way that you combat that is by educating yourself. The way that you combat that is getting out there. And again, sales, just like my athletic career, in my position of goalie and team handball, if I saved 25 to 30% of shots in a game, that was a great game. And that's just a weird muscle to develop, where if you're applying to jobs and you got 2 interviews out of every 10 applications you sent, that's a win. That's better than average. And that's what I think a lot of people don't understand. They hit that initial resistance of rejection, and all of a sudden, oh, it's the economy. There's not even enough job opportunities anyway. And look, that's always gonna be the case unless you really commit yourself to it and really put in the effort. So anyway, kind of off the cuff here, I'm just sitting on the couch in my Airbnb right now. So I hope you got a lot out of that. I'm definitely happy to make a video as well, talking more data-driven about the macro economy and how that impacts tech sales jobs. But I just want to respond directly to everyone sending these messages right now of like, oh, I feel like I missed the bubble, or oh, it's too late, and all of these different things. I mean, it's different than it was 2 years ago, but there's still tons of people getting results. So you know what you need to do. I hope this video was encouraging. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below as well. Happy to help you through it. And again, I'm not trying to be discouraging. I always kind of toe the line of like, I don't want to be hardcore or like call anyone out or just draw this like super aggressive line. But I think a lot of people, again, just asking me those questions just doesn't have the full context of the reality of the situation. So hopefully that's the wake-up call you needed. Hope everyone gets, keeps progressing towards breaking into tech sales. And if you have any questions, comment below. But appreciate it. We'll see you on the next one.